I'm rising to speak to the decisions that have been made in PP Lock related to recognized parties in the legislature. And there are a few things that are included in this report, which was just tabled minutes ago. And frankly, some of them go beyond what was asked of the committee to examine. And so the key thing that the committee was supposed to look at was recognized party status within the legislature. And so what is there, I do think, is more reasonable criteria, though I would say it breaks with the precedent that has been set of recognizing a member, usually a leader. And so I would have liked to see that one member of the House, along with other criteria, would be accepted. I am glad that the legislature is considering this type of thing, though, and has made the party status a more reasonable criteria. The issue of proportionality has been raised in terms of proportionality of speaking time, and it was raised in terms of arguments around cutting the Green Caucus budget in this government's budget. And I found the public defense of cutting our budget to not hold water and to be incomplete about the reality of the formula over the past 6 years versus the new one. The Green Caucus budget was cut 40%. The amount we lost was about the amount that the government member's office is going to be getting in an increase. And now proportionality is being brought into some aspects of routine business, as I mentioned. And if we want to talk about proportionality, that would be great. Let's talk about proportional representation. Because we got 14% of the vote in the election, and so if we want proportionality, then that would mean 6 seats for this caucus. And the government would actually have about 24 seats and be in a minority government position rather than a majority with 100% of the power, which they have used to undermine our capacity as a third party and as an opposition party to do our important work in the legislature of holding them accountable. But the way it is right now, without proportional representation and with inequality in the House, that's what we get. There also appears to be a desire to, through some of the actions I've mentioned, cutting the budget, looking at proportionality, every type of proportionality except proportional representation, to reinforce this two-party system that has benefited the old school parties for forever, and undermine the work that we can do as an opposition party. There's also work to limit the membership of LAC. And I do have concerns about that, because it appears that there will no longer be recognized party status, that member that doesn't have recognized party status would no longer have a seat at LAC, even though they would have a budget, even though they'd be a member of the House, even though I think it would be important for them to be at the table, even if LAC is in camera, which I would argue it shouldn't always be, even if their vote doesn't even matter often, because often there's a majority government, they have the most members at LAC, but still, it would be important for someone to have a seat at the table. And so I just wanted to stand to speak to the fact that through all of these, what seem like small actions taken separately, when put together, there's an effort to undermine the work that a third party can do here, to undermine the important legislative work we do as an opposition party, and that we will continue to do, even if they cut our budget, even if they try to undermine the speaking time we have. It is infuriating and is anti-democratic, and I'm extremely concerned with this trend we see under this government. And so I wanted to stand up and speak to that because I think it is completely unacceptable and they should be ashamed. Thank you, Madam Speaker.